Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Farming Simulator 25 Map Guide. Today, we're going to be taking a look at New Horizon Farm. But before that, this video is brought to you by UTB and Chad Bergman. Thank you for being farm barons. So, the New Horizon Farm map can be found at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu. And as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Now, I do want to say that this map does have 15 required mods. So that is a bit misleading from the download page because the download page has no indication that that is indeed a fact. But if you just download the map and then try to load it up, there's going to be a whole horde of mods that you're going to need to download. And I've pre-recorded a segment going through those mods. So let's go ahead and jump to that now. That include the BR Metal Shed, BR Small Shed, barbed wire fence, cow pasture with milk. Then we also have the house with pool, houses with deep ranch, IMAK CF 10,000, IMAK DF 2000, IMAK DE 19270, the IMAK grain trailer CG, IMAK RC 2000, plant decoration pack, repair workshop, deep silo ranch, and wooden shed. Now, of course, some of these names extend beyond what I can see here. So what I've said was kind of just the entry of that. I really wish they would have those required mods listed on the download page, as opposed to being surprised when you go to load up the map with the fact that there are, again, 15 required mods. As a result, including mods, we're looking at a total download size of 479 megabytes. Let me go ahead and read you some of the description. The New Horizon Farm is located in the Mato Grosso do Sul region of Brazil. On this map, in New Farmer mode, you'll have property with 3 different fields to cultivate and 2 pastures to raise cows and a chicken coop. The farmhouse has a silo, shed, vehicles, and implements to start your journey. The map contains 75 fields and some areas where you can create your own fields. Points of sale and stores are scattered around the map. If you need water, there's a river and lake. There is a small quarry on the map where you can also buy an area to extract limestone for your farm. There is an additional second corn crop. We've got long grain rice where you can harvest in February and you'll get it to harvest again. There are collectibles scattered around the map. In fact, there are 50 custom apple collectibles. They're not golden apples. They have kind of a Massey Ferguson cover to them. The road can be painted. Animals can be bought and sold at the animal dealer. The map comes with some rice fields pre-placed, and to buy animals in lime, you need to take the ferry across the river. And there's a second farm also for those in multiplayer. With all that said, let's jump back over here to the map itself and kind of take a look at the PDA. So if we zoom out a bit, you can see the sizes of these fields. Some things to note here at Farmland 46 and 45. This is kind of a structured forest. So we have trees here all planted in rows. Very, very easy for your sawmill operations, which conveniently is located right here, right beside that structured forest. Now, with respect to crops, we do have all the standard crops available to us in Farm Sim 25 on this map. Now, the description said that there was a, quote, we've added a second corn crop, but we'd only have one thing of corn here. When we get to our growth schedule, let's just see if maybe we can double crop corn in some way. Maybe that's what the description was meaning. Now, with respect to our farmland, if we choose to own the starting farm, then we'll start out by owning farmland ID 74. We can buy that in any alternate mode for $653,832. In addition to owning farmland ID 74, we also own farmland ID 1, and that's going to be $610,944 to buy if you choose to not own the starting farm. Should you choose not to own the starting farm, all the buildings will be pre-placed exactly how you see them in this mode where I do own the farm, except you do not have any starting machinery. So all starting machinery will only occur if you do own the farm. In addition to that, we have farmland ID 53. That is where the secondary farm is located, and it's going to be buyable for $132,528. Areas of note, we have several factories on this map. In fact, I believe I counted up a total of 6 productions, and those productions are scattered around at various farmlands. So we have productions at farmland ID 69, It's going to be located right here. We also have productions at Farmland ID 68, Farmland ID 70, Farmland ID 60, Farmland ID 65, and 64. So 65 is located right here, and then 64 is located there. Several of those productions do not show up until you actually own the land. Let's take a look at our precision farming soil map. This map is making use of the South American soil map that is already a part of the precision farming mod. So you kind of see how that is being applied to the fields on this map. With respect to our crop counter, initial look does show that we do have a traditional crop counter available to us because of our canola and our wheat harvesting. But if we look at our corn, it does look like we do have the ability to plant corn at 2 different times of the year, and then also harvest our corn at 2 different times of the year. So I would assume that if we planted our corn in September or October, we're going to be able to harvest that in March or April. If we happen to late plant our corn in February, we're going to be able to pull it out of the grain or out of the field in August. So we can't exactly double crop corn on the same field, but I do believe that we would be able to potentially double crop corn with other crops. For example, if we planted barley in March or April of one year, we're going to be able to harvest that in December or January of the next year, and then we're going to be able to put corn in the ground and then take corn out of the ground in August of the same year for which we harvested our barley or our barley. So we are also, given this is a South American map, starting our calendar year in February as opposed to August, which we traditionally see on Northern Hemisphere maps. We do start out by owning 20 cows and 6 chickens here at the starting farm. We have contracts available on this map as well, and we do have 6 productions. We can only see 4 productions if we do not own the land, but overall we do have 6. I'm going to come back to this in a moment after I've went ahead and bought the other farmland. As far as sell points, I counted up 8 different sell points scattered around the map. We're going to run down through our vehicles here in a moment, but I did want to also point out that we do have 50 collectibles. They are 50 apples. They're just not the golden apples from Sri Lanka. They've got a bit of a Massey Ferguson kind of cover to them. They're listed as decorated apples. With respect to our starting fleet, well, we take a look at our garage menu. You see we have the New Holland T7 300 medium tractor. We have the New Holland T8 350 Genesis large tractor. And we've got a Volvo FH16 600 and the International CV Series trucks. We've got the JCB 54170 Agro Pro telehandler. For a telehandler, we have a bale fork. We have the IMAK CF 10000 auger wagon, as well as the IMAK CF 10000. We have a pair of those, actually. Those are required mods. We have the SKS 301050 semi-trailer. And then we have the Optima RS planter. We have for our harvesting the 28-foot Verifeed New Holland grain header. We have the 8-row 980CR corn header. And then we have our New Holland CH7.70 harvester. For our forage harvesting needs, we have the New Holland FR780 and the New Holland 450 SFI forage header. And then we also have the IMAK GE 19270 silage leveler. We have the Faro 4010D forage wagon, as well as the IMAK RC 2000 mower. For our TMR mixing, or sorry, not our TMR mixing, this is a straw blower. For our straw blowing needs, we have the Primor 15070M straw blower. And then for our TMR mixing, we have the Trailline Silo King 4.0 System 1000 plus a big TMR mixer. With respect to mods and DLCs, we have the IMAK series of implements. We've got our auger wagon, we have a fertilizer spreader, silage leveler, and then we have another auger wagon right there, and the mower. Other than that, this map doesn't have any custom vehicles or implement built in, but these are listed as required mods, and they are separate downloads. Circling back to our productions, now that I've gone ahead and bought all of the land that the productions are tied to, we have available a cereal factory, pretty standard cereal factory, looking at the various recipes. We have a dairy, again, fairly standard farm sim dairy. We have our sawmill, and then we have our spinnery. Now, if you do go and buy the land, then you'll also have access to a cement factory and then a secondary sawmill. Now, our starting farm is literally right around the corner, so I thought it'd just be fun to just kind of run around to that. Got a bit of a backup there. So we have our vehicle shop. That's where we start out. And then we take our lane up here to our starting farm. Then we have our sign. Everything at both of the farms can be sold, including the fence and any gates that may be around at the various farms. I'm just going to jump the fence here and make our way back because, well, right here by Walter, we do have our chicken coop. So we have our feed point, we have our delivery point. We can have a total of 20 chickens here. We have 6 at the start, and we have our food trough. We have our farmhouse with our sleep trigger. We do have a dog house and a dog as well. Wardrobe triggers around the side. And then we've got some nice South American themed sheds for our farm. 2 pull through silage bunkers. We're going to find our farm silo located right here. So we have our dump point and we have our fill pipe. We've got a fairly large cow pasture, and our cow structure is actually way off in the distance there. This is a fairly large farm area. Lots of room to further expand. Got another nice shed here for bales, or I was laughing because I kind of thought this as a plane hangar. In fact, I think back in the South American expansion for Farm Sim 17, that did have a plane in it. Is that a giant beehive? Don't want to anger the bees, that's for sure. Some more of our starting machinery. And then let's make our way up here to the northern area of the farm. We're going to find our cow pasture. While we're making our way up here, I do want to comment on the playability of this map on lower end systems. So, if you're watching this video right after the map is released, Giants also just released version 1.11 update. I will tell you that testing this map on the 1.11 update on my low end system, I was seeing exceptional frames. I was seeing low frames in the mid 40s and high frames in the mid 50s. Which equates out to 90 to 100 plus FPS once you factor in my custom medium settings with FSR enabled. And that low-end system that I am using is using AMD integrated graphics. So here we have our food trough. We have a bale trigger here, as well as a water trigger inside the hollowed out tire. Then on the outside here at the chute, we're going to have our delivery trigger. 544 cows in total, of which we have 20 at the start. We have our manure heap located right here as well. Last shed that we're going to take a look at here on the farm. And that, folks, is pretty much the main starting farm. The actual farm entrance is way over here by the cows. And then we have a long lane back to the farm itself. The majority of the sell points are going to be located here at the town right by the farm. But what we're going to go to right now is we're going to head over to the cow and pig farm that's located at Farmland ID 53. I have gone ahead and purchased this farmland. So we'll go ahead and see those triggers and everything pop up. Over here to our right, we have another farm silo shed. So we're at dump point. We have our fill point. Got some nice area over here for machinery. Another nice hangar bay for your plains. We have a pig pasture. So we have our water, we have our food, we have our pig delivery point. We're a total of 60 pigs here, and this farm starts out by having 10 little piglets. Our cows located right here. Very, very similar to the cow area at the other farm. We have our food trough, we have our bale trigger, we have our water trigger, we have our milk point, we have our slurry point. I may have missed those at the other animal area. And then this is going to be able to support a total of 286 cows. Let's go ahead and pick one up. And there we go. Got another airplane hangar. And then our farmhouse. Go on inside. Where we have our master bedroom. So we have our sleep trigger there. And our wardrobe trigger here in the other bed. We've just got so many clothes, they have to have their own room all by themselves. And that is, again, the second farm down here, farmland ID 53. Now, while we're down here, let's go and make our way across the river. We do have some wilderness area here, farmland ID 52, for example, and farmland ID 51. If you buy these, you can clear the trees out and kind of design up your own fields or your own buildable area. We have our ferry that we're going to take and go across the river. And once we are across the river, we have our animal buy point. So we have that right there. We're going to have a bale sell point here. We have our manure purchase point. And we have our slurry purchase point as well. South of the animal dealer, we're going to find our limestone production. We have our stone crusher here just to sell our stones. Here we're going to be able to then buy our lime. And also we have a pile of lime here. So if we do own this land, farmland ID 61, we will be able to make use of all of this lime that's piled up. Here we have our cement factory. Again, we have to buy this particular farmland in order to have access to the cement factory. We make our way north. From there, we have our animal dealer, and we have our kind of a river that then extends off the map edge. We have a bit more wilderness here, farmland ID 49, farmland ID 48, and 47. A little bit of wilderness also, farmland ID 71, where we then have a bit of a building area. So you could go ahead and build out kind of a third farm or production sawmill over here at the far northwest. As I mentioned, farmland ID 46 and 45 is a bit of a structured forest. So very easy forestry operations here for our sawmill that's located right next to it. So we have both sawmills located over here. We have a wood sell point, our activation icon there. We have the smaller sawmill located here. So we have our dump point, our wood trigger, our interactive icon, our wood chips, and then our pallets for all of our outputs. And then here we're going to have then the output for the other sawmill. Our interactive icon, is there. But now we'll make our way back towards town. Overall, the map is fairly flat. There's a little bit of rolling hills here and there, but you shouldn't have too much issue with respect to using equipment if it's a little bit underpowered. Maybe until you get over here, kind of to this hillier region, and over here, just work across the field as opposed to directly up the incline. Farmland ID 54 is another little bit of wilderness area, so you could go and buy one of those and kind of make out your own fields if you wish. In the extreme southeast corner of the map, we're going to find one of our grain sell points with our dump point here. And then we'll make our way back up here to town. We have a warehouse sell point and buy point. So, of course, we can buy our goods here for our productions, or we can sell things that we have to sell here at the warehouse. Let's go ahead and take a look at the mini map. We have a New Horizon grain mill. That's going to be a sell point located right here. Dump is inside the shed. We have our cereal factory, our dairy, our spinnery. There's going to be a bale sell point. We have a farmer's market sell point for grain and palletized products. And we're back here to our vehicle shop. Here at the vehicle shop, we're going to have to go inside. To purchase a vehicle. Oh, our sales lady has changed suddenly. And now we have our dealer trigger, which is located here. And the actual trigger is inside this area. It might extend a little bit outside the area, but overall you're going to need to drive into the bay in order to get your stuff serviced. We've got a fairly large area here also for your vehicles and implements to spawn. A decent sized area for you to get out of the vehicle shop. And you don't have to really worry about making that corner to get onto the road either, because we've got a very wide area there as well. And folks, that is, for the most part, the New Horizon farm map. I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comments below with respect to this particular map. What do you think of South American maps in general? What do you think of the South American calendar, or the Southern Hemisphere calendar, where it starts in February as opposed to August? Until next time, happy farming.